I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Ms. Johnson,
Here.
Ms. Warner,
Here.
Mr. Shara,
Here.
Ms. Mazuka.
Here.
Okay.
As this is an adjudication hearing, all those wishing to give testimony, please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth? If so, say I do.
Okay. I would like to ask for a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes from August 27th, 2024.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Mazuka,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Warner,
Yes.
Mr. Shara.
Yes.
Okay. Next agenda item is funding updates from Community Development. Debbie Eversole.
All right, so I did get an email from Debbie. We're still sitting at $30,000. Nobody has taken advantage of the funds. She did want to put that out there, that it can be used for demo also. I think that information was put out before, but as of today, not one penny has been claimed for repairs. And we're getting to the end of the season where painting, roofs, siding, all of that stuff probably won't be done. So
Is there an expiration date on those funds?
she'll let it go to the end of the year.
End of the calendar year?
Yeah, I'm not sure as far as reappropriation of those funds to put them someplace else. That would be a question for Debbie that I can get answered.
Okay. Old business. Summarization of repairs.
Yep, and I'm still working on a draft for that, so I'd like to have something for you if we have a meeting in December. If not, look to have some type of work session in January.
Okay.
The draft is going to be ready in January?
I will have the draft ready before then. I'll have a draft ready for you in November.
Okay, and we can,
But you guys can take a look at it. We can fine tune it, make sure that it's everything that you need or want.
and then we'll
I'd
vote
like
on
to-
it, and it'll be ready to go in January?
Yes, I'd
Okay.
like to start it when the new year starts over.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, sounds good. Recalling case number EN 222342. Kevin Roth is appealing the third administrative penalty for 1951 Tiffin Ave, Sandusky, Ohio, 44870. Parcel number 58029310000.
Good evening, Ron Snyder, investigator for, inspector for the City of Sandusky Code Compliance Office. And did you say 1951?
That's what's on the,
Yeah, that's what it says, 1951
yeah, it
Tiffin.
should be 1921.
1921. We'll change the agenda.
We'll adjust it.
Okay. As indicated, we're back from this was tabled on two different occasions due to Mr. Roth not being able to make his initial Housing Appeals Board meeting. And then I'm under the impression that he had some medical issues for the callback. So, but he is here this evening. So just to give the board a little bit of an update. So on June 12th would have been the actual inspection date that would have led to the third penalty. So when I went out to that residence, you can see here on that fascia board there was still no gutter or downspouts on that residence. Nor on this house sets kind of at a different angle. So depending upon how you're looking at it determines like which side we're looking at. But you can tell there in that rake area or that fascia board on both ends of the house, there's no covering on that wood. It's weathered. And there should be a section of gutter above that window. Again, this was on the date of the inspection that led to the third penalty in which he is contesting. So not long after that, while I was out conducting other business, and I went by the residence. I noted that on the 30th of July, Mr. Roth had in fact had a gutter and a downspout placed. And I'll take you back to the photo, but they are there in that little packet that I gave you. This would be the area right there. But again, we were after that inspection date before he actually complied with that. And again, on 7/30, nothing had been done to the side of the house, whether it be any paint, any flashing put up there, or any gutters or spout. On 10/29, or today's date, I'm sorry, since that time frame, since July until now, he has put a section of gutter on that side of the house. However, there's no downspout for that gutter. And we are still not complete with as far as the items that were on the initial write-up. So,
How many items are outstanding? Just this one here with the gutter down?
currently, right now, he needs just that covering on that, the fascia board on both ends of that house, both peaks, and he needs to get a downspout on that gutter, and it would be done.
Is he here?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Are you done?
Unless you have questions, I am.
I have a question. It's still outstanding here, whether or not that back door there, it doesn't have any railing or steps. And we didn't know if that was functional or plastered over or what. Have we?
I would like to believe that Mr. Roth would probably be able to answer that a little further. So.
Okay, but, sir, I don't think when we were swearing people in, I didn't see you raise your hand and say anything. I don't think you were sworn in.
You had your hand up?
I have my hand up.
Okay.
Come on up, Mr. Roth.
You come on up, sir.
Podium, please.
Come on up here.
Yes,
Come on, come up here.
Tell us your name.
My name is Kevin Roth.
Okay, go ahead with your,
Since then, I bought all the stringers for the steps, all the materials. I just haven't got to it yet because I was trying to get the aluminum on the outside and all the gutters. So I got pretty much all that done. Payday, which is this Friday, I will buy the downspout and finish up all the gutters, and then I'll do the steps. I've got all the materials. I mean, I got $3,000 just in gutters and aluminum, and then it cost me $400 for the step materials. So, I make $1,300 a month, and it's kind of hard to live by. So I'm getting it done. I can show you a picture of the house when I bought it, and compared to what it looks like now, and you won't believe the difference.
So, sir, did you say you have materials for railing and porch steps?
Yes, ma'am.
You do. It's just a matter of putting those in then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How long will it take for you to get this done? Are you going to get it done before winter?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Like,
I'm hoping. I'm trying to get the rest of the aluminum on the back. And then, like I said, I get paid Friday, so I'm going to go buy the downspout for the back of the house. That way that's done. And then I'm going to get the steps put in. It's something that's going to take a couple people. I can't do it myself because I'm handicapped, so,
any other questions?
Yeah, I have one if I could. Was the steps a part of the original violation
Not initially, no.
No.
initially, or is it? okay,
Not
about
initially,
now?
it was not, no.
Is it now? Is it now?
It would be something that, my priority was to get him to start working on these other issues,
Mhm.
right? And then if need be, have to write it up, I would write it up again in regards to that other issue. The steps on the porch, again, there was no question, there was no way for me to know if that door was functional.
Okay.
Meaning if he didn't use it as an access point or an egress area, right, then that's something that we would have to go through building department to determine whether or not an actual landing or steps need to be there, or if what they refer to as a door guard, which is a wrought iron area that goes around the door, that simply prevents anyone from egressing out on a normal basis, but it could be climbed over in case of fire, something along those lines, so.
Well, it's functional, and I do have a piece of wood across so nobody can walk out and, you know, I got all the materials, it's just a matter of time.
Question, Lisa?
Yeah, at the first hearing, when you weren't present, you had a friend here who came on your behalf, and he indicated that you had an injury during this time, a head injury. That's around the time that you were being issued these violations. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
And recently, I just sprained my wrist, but I got that back, so I'm good.
Okay.
I just want to continue working, you know, on that house. It looks good.
I have one more question for Ron. Okay, Ron, so the railings and porch steps were not part of the original violation. So that's going to be written up on another violation, or how are you doing that?
Provided he doesn't. Okay, so like any other issue that we would have, if we know something, okay, the owner is notified of the issue, and they're granted the amount of time to fix that. Okay, that would be on me, that it didn't go out in the original letter, all right? So nothing more than him knowing that he's got to do that. And I can monitor that the same way I would anything else. If he's indicating that he's going to have it done before winter's through and he's not, then come January, he'll catch another write-up. So,
Well, I mean,
and then he'll be held to a task a little more diligently.
Yeah, because it wasn't fair to him, because you didn't,
No, I'm not, no, and that's just it. I'll say, as far as the penalties go, and as far as the third penalty, it's simply based upon the exterior surface maintenance and then lack of gutters and spouts.
so that's what we're concentrating on right
That's what
now.
he is initially appealing, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I would like to make a motion then if
Can I
anybody,
testify, please?
I don't believe this is an open forum.
Thank you very much.
Well, hold on, sir. It's up to you whether you decide.
Why are you,
I'm going to testify on Kevin's behalf.
Well, it's up to you whether you accept any additional testimony.
I don't think we're going to accept any additional testimony at this time.
Excuse me, but this is a public meeting. I was sworn in, and I'd like to comment on his case.
Is there legal here? Can we?
If you're going to swear people in, I don't understand. Oh, before I say anything, can we please use our mics? Would you please use your mic, Ms. Warner? And Mr. Schwa, thank you, so the peanut gallery can hear the comments. I'm going to go ahead and say what I have to say. I'm going to
Those
volunteer.
are legal.
Well, I'm going
One
to say it
second.
anyway.
Excuse me.
I'm going to.
Excuse me. It's not, let's just, everybody. It's not, this is a public, you can come in, it's open to the public, but you have to be testifying, correct? Am I correct, Ron?
And I'll refer to you. If it's got to be on one of the other parties' request, it can't just be someone from the outside coming in and just imposing their opinion on the hearing.
If he's requesting that he,
Are you,
Have you requested this testimony?
does it have to be,
Related.
Okay, well, I'm asking, yes, okay,
okay.
go ahead.
I would like personal clarification on that, though. This is the first time I've ever heard anything that a person that's sworn in can't testify, whether I'm a neighbor or whether I'm a family member or a friend. I would like Mr., okay, help me.
Rucker.
I knew that. Mr. Rucker sent me an email. He has my email address. I'm here to volunteer to help Kevin with whatever he has to get done. Okay, I've known Kevin for a long time. Now, does my testimony make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So as far, and just to piggyback on what the Assistant Law Director said, you either have to be requested by that individual or you're called by the chairperson of the board.
Okay, I think I'm going to need to see that in writing.
Because we've had other individuals come and they weren't a party to the appeal and they still came up and decided to speak. And that was clarified through the law director.
Okay.
Even though this is an open meeting, we don't have public comment like you do during commission meetings.
Well, did I give my name? It's Tim Schwanger. I've known Kevin all my life. So whatever he needs, I'll give him my phone number when I get done.
Okay,
I'd like to make a motion that we give this gentleman, Mr. Roth, another 30 days, and you come back and report to us your progress, or hopefully you've got it done by then, because winter's coming.
Right.
Do you think you'll have that done in 30 days?
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Okay, we'll give you, I'd like to make a motion that we give Mr. Roth 30 days, and we put this fine on hold until we hear from him in 30 days.
Can I make a comment before we do a motion?
She made
She need a motion?
gotta have a
Okay.
second.
Pardon?
We need a second to your motion.
Your motion was made, so there needs to be a second before any discussion.
Okay, nobody makes a second motion, huh?
So the motion dies for lack of a second. Okay, what's your comment, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to doing, based upon where we're at weather-wise, I don't know how much progress is going to be made in 30 days. There's, this is an open case with code compliance. I feel like we're just here on this third administrative penalty, which my focus is on. He has given testimony today that during the time in which these were happening, he was dealing with a head injury. And I think based upon that, I don't see a reason for a third administrative penalty, which carries, a penalty of, it's a crime and can have jail time. But I do support going out on this case and rechecking it. But if it was just, I think based on that information, I would support just granting his appeal on this third administrative penalty. I don't know if, yours is not bad though either, to have an extension and just relook at it, but I just don't think 30 days is enough I think bringing him back in 30 days, we might just be faced with another, not much has been done kind of situation.
I think why I said 30 days is because I want to stay in touch with this gentleman,
Okay.
because he's been dragging his feet on this
But he's been,
project.
but he's been sick. I'm hearing two different things, unless I'm wrong. I'm hearing a motion to deny
I didn't make a motion.
I know, but
Yeah.
a comment, and yours was to extend it for 30 days. So I think we have two things on the table. So is there a motion that somebody would like?
I had a motion of extending 30 days and holding up the penalty to see what he can do in 30 days.
Okay,
See-
so that died for lack of a second. So does anyone else?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to grant the appeal.
Okay, there's a motion to grant the appeal. Is there a second? Can I second? I will second that. So it's been moved that we grant the appeal, and it's been seconded.
Are we just talking about the appeal, or what?
It's just.
What happens
it's just
after
the
we-
penalty.
Pardon?
It's just the penalty. It's just the penalty. It's not,
So-
he still has to answer to Mr. Snyder, about the compliance issues.
So you have a motion and you have a second.
Yeah.
Now you can have some discussion before you vote.
And recalling this case is just for the appealing of the third administrative penalty.
Okay, and so this will waive it then, right?
He's going,
Just the penalty.
if the motion,
Say it again, please. Just for the time being, you said?
Just the penalty, that he still has all this open with code compliance.
Okay.
This penalty would be granted, the appeal would be granted.
We're just holding up the appeal, then it's,
No, it
No.
would, the $1,000 penalty and the possible criminal charges would be gone. They would be gone.
So I'd like to ask a question, if I may, is if we do this, do we start from step one, from a code compliance perspective? If we come back and we address this in 30 days or 90 days or even 6 months, do we start at step one, a notification back from code compliance?
No,
of noncompliance?
What would happen here is because he's appealing the third administrative penalty,
Yes.
which would mean the third administrative penalty would just no longer exist. It goes away. So he would still have the first and second administrative penalties that he never appealed, he's not paid. Those would still be in place. We would go back on a timeline. And in that case, there is because we're going to have this, we'll probably go on a break because of winter weather anyhow. That, as far as the landing, the steps, what have you, can go in a courtesy notification to him, letting him know that that will be added onto that, to where when the work starts going, this needs to be incorporated, but it reestablishes timelines. Usually over the winter, anywhere out to April or May. I encourage folks, if they can get the work done during the time frame, that's great. However, if not, I won't be in touch, or there won't be any kind of contact with that property until like May or the latter part of April, when weather starts to break and it gets nicer.
Okay. So the motion is to.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't relinquish the city from imposing a third administrative penalty again, though, should work not be done.
It does or does not,
It
Ron?
does not. The granting of the appeal does not say that we're starting all over. It just takes us back to level 2.
Okay.
So he would be subject to a level 3 or a third administrative penalty, provided nothing gets done there. So,
Yes, sir.
So you're still going to assess me some kind of penalty?
Yep, for 1 and 2.
This is only on the third administrative penalty because the first and the second did not get appealed, so it can't come before the board.
Yeah, I make $1,300 a month. I'm doing what I can. I got to pay taxes, insurance, groceries, everything. I get $48 a month in food stamps, and I'm paying for all this aluminum, all these gutters, and I'm trying to do it myself, and you guys are going to hit me with a penalty when I can drive around the city of Sandusky and take pictures, and I'll show you 100 houses that are worse than mine are for gutters.
It's just
I have another question with Ron. Doesn't he owe for his other 2 fines? Are there other 2 fines on the books?
the other 2 administrative penalties have not been resolved with the city, no. Meaning, no, they have not been.
And they keep adding them, and keep adding them, and keep adding them. And I've done every bit of work I could to get everything done. I can't crap aluminum and gutters out, you know what I'm saying?
But you're going to have to pay your first and second penalty. We're,
If I couldn't pay the first,
but they're not going to go,
oh, there, this is so crazy, because I've done everything I can. I make $1,300 a month, and I'm barely scraping by. But my house looks better than half the houses in Sandusky.
all right. Okay, so it's been moved and properly seconded.
Let me hear that once again, the first motion.
I made a motion to grant the appeal for the third administrative penalty.
And you
And I second it, so we can move on.
Ready for a vote? You ready?
Roll call, yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Mazuka,
Yes.
Ms. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Shara.
Yes.
All right, motion
Okay,
passes.
Motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Uh,
Yeah, you're
Yes,
done.
sir.
Thank you. Okay, under new business, case number EN 222279. Barbara Williamson is appealing the second administrative penalty for 1428 Erie Boulevard, Sandusky, Ohio, 44870, parcel 5704509000. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Ron Snyder, Inspector for the City of Sandusky Code Compliance Office. So back in December 13th of 2002, while I was in the residential area near and around Ms. Williamson's residence, there was a number of things that I noted when I was coming. I'm not even sure if I was on Boulevard, Waverly, one of the streets there, but they consisted of a number of issues as indicated. So one was an eave condition, gutter installation, downspout installation, and exterior surface maintenance. So in your packet that you would have gotten prior to tonight's meeting, this would be the south side of the residence. The area of the fascia board and area there, we can see that that is completely rotted out and it was missing. This is an issue with the eave as well. A number of places there where the flashing was missing or the fascia board was missing. Due to the fact that the garage is attached to the residence, it subsequently falls under the dwelling clause where it needs to have gutters and downspouts. Plus then we have gutter and downspout installation on the primary residence as well there. Another indication of gutter and downspout installation needed. And now we're looking at some exterior surface maintenance. There's not a lot of wood on this residence. It's primarily brick. But most of the wooded areas are around the windows, between the windows and the window framing. And again, the arrows are indicating fascia boards, soffits, and window trim needed some attention. On 1/13, January 13th of 2023, the reason there's no mail or proof of mail showing of mail was sent, notification and order of violations, but there was and we will get to that. So, but just to indicate, there had been an administrative penalty that was filed. So, and that was paid by Ms. Williamson, so there was really no need to show the mailing in this one. But on January 13th of 2023, contractors lined up for the work. Weather was a concern. I concurred, told her I would work with her on her timelines. Asked for copies of quotes, estimates, and/or contractors. Ms. Williamson said she would drop them off. That never happened. January 17th, I granted the extension due to the weather. January 30th of 2023, voicemail from Ms. Williamson. Chose to have work done rather than waiting until spring. Claimed fascia board, soffits, gutters, and downspouts were addressed. Responded to the residents and found that the said issues had in fact been addressed. 1/31, 2023, I made contact, explained the case would not be closed until the painting had been done. She was a little reluctant, angered and argumentative, claimed that she had done what was asked of her. The conversation was not leading to a productive conclusion, so it was terminated. May of 2023, I granted an extension due to inclement weather. June 16th of 2023, there was no work done. Had some questions. I had a discussion with the housing supervisor on the matter. He was on vacation, so this pushed down the road until June 26th of 2023. The question was answered, reinspection conducted on 6/27, still no work done, first administrative penalty was administered. June of 23, voicemail from Ms. Williamson asking for an extension. Extension was granted.
Ron, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Could you just back up this one slide? Can you go back? Okay, I'm good.
7/28, that was granted. September of 2023, there was some progress that I was noting. There was been some painting that had started on some of the lower area windows. She was granted an extension. 10/10 of 23, again, granted another extension because of some progress. November of 23, again, we were getting into the inclement weather. Paint's not going to adhere during the cold, so she was granted an extension. April 2024, extension again due to weather. This pushed us out till June 4th of 2024. I was contacted by Ms. Williamson. There was a neighbor in her neighborhood that was having some painting done. Said she'd spoke with the contractor and advised she was going to have this contractor complete her work. Did not advise at that time who the contractor was. Was unsure if the work would be done by next inspection date. Was asked if the work would be done if I extended her timeline out several months. She said she had no reason to believe that it wouldn't be. So from June 4th, I pushed her extension out to the latter part of August, which was nearly 3 months. Next inspection date, August 30th of 2024, the project was not completed. Again, that's indicating the extended timeline went out from June until, and maybe I just went backwards, I'm sorry. But the photos here are showing that the painting had not been done. And subsequently, a second administrative penalty was administered. Acknowledge that the work had not been done, and then the pending inspection date, why no call to request for an extension? That's my question on the PowerPoint. There was discussions with Ms. Williamson in regards to the second administrative penalty, right? But what I don't understand, and maybe she can allude to that when she comes up here, is the fact is if she knew of the pending inspection date and knew that it wasn't done, why not a phone call? Bullet point there was 8 extensions granted over a 22-month period for this timeline not to be complete. Second administrative penalty administered as indicated. Notice and order was sent. We have the letter. It was certified. A copy of the invoice and evaluation for the penalty. I was contacted by Ms. Williamson. She was extremely upset after receiving the second administrative penalty. Again, argumentative after giving her almost 3 months to have the work done. No written contract with the contractor, only verbal. Conversations, once again, was leading into no positive conclusion. The call was terminated. During the said conversation, Ms. Williamson mentioned the last name of Hinkle as the last name of her contractor. Just in my business dealings, I know of a gentleman by the last name of Hinkle that works as he does rehabs, home construction. I reached out to him. He was not the Hinkle, but he knew who the gentleman was. I had asked for him to have this gentleman call me. That gentleman told him that he wasn't going to call me, but had mentioned to him that there had been no formal estimate, no formal contract, and that if anything, it was going to be possibly into spring of this next year before that would be getting done. Okay. And that's what this indicates here. Not shortly thereafter, on September 10th of 2024, we received a letter from Ms. Williamson, and we accepted that as her indication that she would like to file an appeal, and granted that appeal. This is as today's date. Would advise the board that it is something that we can only access these properties via public access, meaning the street and the sidewalk, all right? So any photos that were taken are from a little bit of a distance, but we're able to zoom in on those areas.
So she's got everything done except for around the windows.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
Not unless you have questions, ma'am.
Any other questions for Code Compliance Officer Snyder?
And Ms. Williamson is here.
Okay.
so,
Good.
Okay.
So, Mrs. Williamson, would you like to come up to the podium? Even though we know your name, if you state your name and then.
I'm Barbara Williamson.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I kind of half sworn in. I wasn't used to this, so I kind of had my hand up half the time, but I agree to tell the truth.
Okay.
Okay, some of this is very deceiving. I just want to mention the history of this house, okay? I live in that two-story brick home. It has 36 windows in that house. When I first got the call about, we had a bad winter, it blew the fascia off my roof. And that's why it looked that bad. So within months, of course in the winter I couldn't do anything. So I got a call, I think it was in January. And so I went ahead and I paid $18,500 from the gutter. I have their name in here in my file. And they did everything. They did all soffits, all gutters, downspouts on the garage and the entire house, including the front porch. I also have a back porch, but that's all those are all replacement windows. So anyway, that was done probably less than 6 weeks after the call that this was a mess on my house, okay, the fascia board. So basically it was all repaired like almost right away. So I thought that was the issue with the house because I've got replacement windows. I've got 36 windows on that house. And how do I know that? Because I put a wreath on every window in the Christmas time. So I have 36 wreaths in my house for each window. So basically I made effort I had to strip the pillars on my front porch. I stripped them down. The house was built 1923. So I even stripped all the wood down to the bare wood on all those 4 pillars in the front of my home. I also have wood around my garage. I have 2 garages on my house, the front and back to go onto 2 streets, Holyrood and also Erie Boulevard, which is my main entrance. So I stripped all the paint around the garage, put a white base coat on everything, and then I repainted all the pillars to match that cream color. So basically, I've been working on every single window. I was down to 4 windows left. My neighbor across the street, it was the white colonial, had his entire house repainted, so I had gone across the street to talk to, he calls himself Bob Bow. That's his nickname, but it's actually Bob Bo Hinkle, and he also has a brother that's a painter. Okay, so he agreed to do my last 4 remaining windows out of 36 windows on this house. And so that's what I had left to do this summer. So he gave me a verbal estimate. I'm a trustworthy person. I've been in a career where I have had to be honest and tell the truth. I've had a career as a nurse for 47 years, and over that career, I've had to be a responsible, truthful person, also knowing the facts with patience and confidential information, so I have no reason to lie. So I took this man's word that he would be over sometime. He didn't give me a date. He was going to try to fit me in. So 4 remaining windows at $100 a piece. So then I get this penalty, but in the meantime, I had told Mr. Snyder that I only had the 4 windows left to do out of 36. And I didn't know when Mr. Hinkle would be able to do my house. I just went by being truthful. I assumed he would take care of it. Well, I had contacted with him again. I had tried a number of times. I also have on my telephone, I don't delete any phone calls, not only from Mr. Snyder, but for Mr. Hinkle, to prove when I had contact with him. I did not ask for 8 extensions at all for this work to be done. I did not call him for extension. I did not ask for 8 extensions. And I have no reason to lie. And I kept all his phones in my phone as a record, including they're all time-stamped. So to jump back one little bit, after my neighbor across the street had his home repainted, which was end of May, maybe beginning of June, I also discussed with him how my neighbors have had like really severe paint issues, okay? So as part of my packet here, I went ahead, I took my before pictures on my house and my after pictures. So it makes the house look like trash, but in fact, if you look through the original pictures, there's a before and after section. I have like 4 different envelopes that have what the pictures were, to prove that in fact the work was done, the porch is done, the soffits are done, the gutters are done, everything is done on that house. I have to do, the only thing I have left on those windows, I went ahead and started working on those 4 windows, is what he showed you right there, that strip along the top. So if you can see about halfway down, it's painted. I just could not reach that. I'm not tall enough to reach that, so I have to have 4 windows, just that top little section done out of 36 windows. I also didn't even include, I have 4 basement windows, those are painted. They're small. So I have been making an effort. I've had strip paint off. I've put base coats on, everything. And I feel like to get a fine for 4 remaining windows is a little bit crazy. Again, I couldn't control the painter, so I've gone ahead and did the work as best I could. I just have to get and reach just those 4 windows, just that top half, as you can see there. Because you can tell the bottom half of that, it's painted. So it's very deceptive to show that and say that, oh, you know, my house is just a junk trash, and it's not. And nor did I ask for 8 extensions. There is no way I talked to him 8 times.
All right.
So I really appreciate you listening. You can ask me any kind of questions.
Okay.
I have compliments on my house all the time. It's actually a beautiful historic home built in 1923, and it's in a historical section.
Thank you.
That's all I can say.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Anyone have any questions for Mrs. Williamson?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
For the fascia,
Yes.
it looked like it was sided over the rotten, it looked like it was dry rotted up there and it was sided over.
Oh, I had it all taken care of, and it's all brand new.
So all of that rotten stuff was taken down and,
It was scraped off, yes. It wasn't rotten through, it just was paint chips, basically.
okay.
Yeah.
And you said this came from your storm damage?
Yes, a winter got a hold of it right before I got cited the first time, and you know, they came and said, my gosh, you know, it's a mess, and the stuff blew off. And so it looks horrible. That's because the wind took a hold of it and got a hold of it and blew all that stuff down.
So you got a contractor to take care of that?
It was all taken care of.
And it's all taken care of?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's taken care of within probably less than 6 weeks after he addressed the gutters as a problem and took those horrible pictures of the house.
Did you have insurance to cover that?
I paid out of my pocket.
Okay.
I paid $18,500 to, it's that gutter, geez, what's the name of that place?
Okay, and
There, I got it, right here.
Yep.
Leaf Guard, that company.
okay.
And they took care of it, and it was winter, but it just happened to be like a mild week in there, because I didn't expect them to do the work until the summer. No, it's like January, and they put up all new everything for me.
Okay, so now back to the painter that
Yes.
you have for these windows.
Yes,
There's 4, is that correct? 4 windows she has to do?
correct, out of 36.
Okay. Well, Ron, you should know, you're right in the
Right,
right.
but she answered. Okay, I know, you were looking at me, but you
Okay.
asked me the question, I was going to answer, but yet she answered.
She has
From
4?
what I'm gathering, yes, from that, it's going to be from that west side.
Okay.
Primarily.
That's it,
Okay, so,
out of 36.
when you got this Hinkle guy involved, there
Yes.
was no contract.
Correct. Well, here's the thing. I went by, I'm an honest person. When someone tells me they're going to do something, I assume they're going to do that and follow through. And he did a beautiful job on the house across the street. So I thought, God, this guy is really good. So, $100 for each window, that's what he quoted me, and then he didn't get back with me. Then I didn't know when he'd be able to fit me in.
Okay, did you put
But then I
anything-
talked to him after that, and he was going to give me a written contract, which he never did, but in the meantime, I went ahead and started on the windows anyway. 'Cause I
Okay,
didn't-
did you put any money down for him to paint the windows?
We don't really know about the money and stuff. Right now, we're here to discuss the appealing of the second administrative. So, Sharon, do you have any questions regarding the second administration? Apparently, all the work was done because she's down to 4 windows.
Yes.
Okay?
Four
So-
half windows.
Huh?
Four
Yeah, the half, the top half, correct.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's kind of focus on the appeal of the second administration. You said that you didn't have no extensions? So did you know
No,
the
well,
date? What
I
was the
did have
first date?
some due to some
Some.
other, but I didn't, he made it sound like I called him 8
No, that's
times.
not what he said.
I did not do that.
Some of the extensions are just when they come out and inspect, and then they just do the
Oh,
extension
okay,
themselves.
because
It's
that was
it's
not on
all-
my part. I
Yeah,
didn't
we-
ask
we-
for
did
that.
say
Yeah,
that.
we knew that, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, because
no.
I'm like, hell, I didn't call this guy.
So it was not done, and that's why the administrative penalties were assessed.
Okay,
Because you did not meet the deadlines. So
okay,
that's what we're here to appeal.
all right.
Okay? So does any board member have any other questions or concerns?
I do have one last question.
Yes, sir.
Is it your intent to complete the painting of these 4 half?
Oh, I'm going to get them done real quick, before, I'd say, but before mid-November, I'm hoping. The weather's been really good.
Sure.
Hasn't hit the peak yet, which means, we should have some good weather. But yes,
Are you going to do it yourself, or? are you-
I do, and I'm going to tell you how I do them. I hang out my window upside down and paint. Yes, this 70-some-year-old woman does her own damn work. Yes, I do.
All righty.
And by the way, I just retired after 70. I babysit 30 hours a week, and I was
Yeah, we
working
appreciate that.
full-time at the
Yeah,
hospital
we appreciate all that.
and painting.
All right, so we're going to stick
So-
with these. We're going to stick with the penalty, second administrative penalty. So you have a question?
No, I was going to make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we grant the appeal for the second administrative penalty.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second? There's a,
I don't
either
mi-
second, or we're going to let it die.
I'm gonna let that-
We need a
Okay,
motion.
Make a
okay,
follow-up motion.
I want some discussion
Okay, you have
after
to
this.
second the motion first, and then we can discuss it.
Okay, I'll second it for
Okay, so it's been
discussion.
moved
No,
and
no.
seconded. Any discussion?
Any discussion?
Now, your discussion.
Discussion, okay. I am so hesitant here. We've never done this before. Now we're getting ourselves into this business of waiving, which I don't mind waiving if progress has been made. But I want to see these people back here in 30 days or something. I want to keep track of them. Because Ron's getting the runaround here a little bit, and I need for this
If I may,
property owner
Sharon.
to come back in 30 days.
Okay.
Because I'm not waiving anything until she gets this done.
We have a motion on
back.
the floor. Am I wrong, legal?
She-
What she's asking. We need to focus on the motion. We have questions on the motion, correct?
Correct.
So that's where we need to focus. It's been moved and properly seconded. Are there any questions on the motion? Okay, take a vote.
All right. Ms. Mazuka,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
No.
seconded it. You seconded my motion.
All right.
I second it for discussion.
Can she say no? Can she vote no legal?
Let's take a new,
You want a new motion?
I want a new motion.
All right.
Yep.
So we need to start all over.
Okay,
I need the motion made again.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the appeal on the second administrative penalty.
so is there a second on the motion?
It dies.
So the motion dies for lack of a second. So what else, is there another motion that the committee would like to make?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that we, I don't want to say suspend, but we hold the appeal until, let's see, we're approaching wintertime, so let's give her until March of '25 to get this accomplished, okay? So my motion is to go ahead and hold the appeal, give you 5 months, I guess it is,
Okay.
to get this accomplished, at which time you can either contact the code enforcement people, tell them it's done, or
Okay.
you can come back and talk to us.
Okay?
Does that make sense to my
Yes.
Okay,
fellow?
So there's a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Okay, you want to take a roll call vote?
Mr. Shura,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Warner,
No.
Ms. Mazuka.
Yes.
Okay, so
3-1.
motion passes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, it'll be
careful.
done.
Thank
I
you.
don't have much to do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we're done, right? There's 4's not here, 5's not here.
I don't like to.
All right.
Well, 4 was canceled.
And then they get
Yeah.
Five will
Push
show up.
forward.
5,
5 is not here, so you
Yeah.
you want to
can
table it?
deny. You can table, you can deny.
Table.
Okay, we're going to table, do I need that in the motion, or can I just say?
Like to
We're going to table number 5,
make a-
case number EN 24. Okay, I need a motion to
I'll make a
table.
motion to table case number 5 until our next meeting.
Need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded that we table case number EN.
What happened to this discussion here? I need,
Any discussion? I'm sorry, I maybe rushed.
okay. Why are we tabling this
Because they're-
again?
Because they're not here.
They're not here? Well, don't they forfeit it if they're not here or something?
We can
We
we can deny the appeal, or we can table it.
So the motion on the floor is to table this one to next meeting.
Somebody has to explain to me what is a notice and order of violation.
So it's a violation notice to tell you that there's something wrong with your property.
I'm
So if we-
sorry?
There's a notice to tell you that there is an issue with your property. So if I'm telling you that you need to paint or repair your roof, that is a notice and order of violation.
Well,
So they are
why aren't we writing it up then?
they are appealing the violations. They don't believe that the violations that were issued through the notice are legitimate.
Well, why don't we get to know what the violations are here?
I'm
You-
going to
you rec-
interrupt.
You
Again.
received everything in your packet.
Motion on the floor is to table case number EN 241827 to next meeting. It's been seconded. I don't think that's discussion was going with the tabling. Unless legal, yes,
You can do a roll call.
thank you. You do a roll call.
All right. Ms. Mazuka,
Yes.
Ms. Warner,
Yes?
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Shura.
Yes.
Okay. Next meeting, Tuesday, November 26, 2024. And if this is all the business before this meeting today, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I just wanted to hit the gavel. We're adjourned. Thank you, guys.